My name is Hamish Brown, aka Dankster Down Under. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and this is part of my first journey overseas at the age of 57. I've just spent the last 12 years caring for both my parents in a seaside town up in northern Australia in Queensland known as Noosa, which is where I met Thom about a decade ago. I am two poets today, myself, Hamish Danks Brown, and my father, John Royston Danks Brown, aka Jock, who died last year at the age of 95, lucid to the end, and poetry was between us all the way. So I'm going to, with your indulgence, do a brief poem of his to give you an idea of why I'm a poet. Play phone. There is no way we can find out the reason we are here. We only have to realise that to free yourself from fear, religion, myths and secret covens all claim they know the why and fill great books with promises of heaven in the sky. In vast corrupt colleges they select a passive dope who'll say here's the voice of God and give the people hope. Look at a tree or watch an ant or a bee collecting honey. Find me a saint of either sex who asks the world for money. A flower that watches clouds pass by does not shout prayers for rain. Enough rain fell to make a flower, and it will come again. When there's violence and restriction, evil spirits get the blame. When beauty blooms in silent joy, we can't give it a name. So lose your fear of what's to come. Let others have their stupid say. If we can't know why we're here, we simply came to play. What's important to remember, as with the ant and honey bee, I came to play with someone. You came to play with me. I'm wearing is the piece of jewellery that my dad always wore. And at the end, he was reading the poetry I was writing about him as he was dying, and Mum was sliding into dementia. And he was saying this is the best. He was making corrections, suggestions for the last night. He was lucid as he was just fading away because he was 95 and he'd had enough. Through that cycle of poetry that I wrote, I've been published widely because a lot of people started reading my poems all over. I was circulating them on Facebook and on social media and found my audience mushrooming. This was published in a book called Voices Across Generations, in which there are 7 of my poems and 15 of my father's, 14 contributing poets, 22 ancestral and descendant poets. It was about poetry through generations of families. I'm going to read, because I'm on my first trip across America, I wrote 3 poems last night and this morning in a burst, so I'm going to read one of the new ones. And it's called Dreamerica. This is a separate poem I've written in the 3 weeks I've been in the USA. Dreamerica. Some folks say we're all driving down Route 666. Other folks say we'll find the way via Salvation Nav. 50 states multiplied by over 300 million territories of individual identity tends to get a tad complicated between all our times and places. We've all had a dream, and all dreams have ever had is us. What did we? What do we? What will we dream of now? Sleeping and waking across Dreamerica with its contiguous boundary-riding visions, which we can all see and all be blind to at once. This stagecoachless poet from the Australian section of Area 51 is headwinding and tailgating on trails through counties beyond counting beneath a star-strangled sky. Poets are the presidents of a congress of words who run as hard and as far and as fast as they can from any hint of being in office, because our capital thrills would probably get us impeached. All the states of wondering how, when, where, why, above all, with who we are united is the destiny we wish to manifest wherever we find each other. Nobody discovered Dream America until it founded us. Remember to take some wash and tonic, get Lincolned in, do the hoovering, switch Jeffers on, forget Carter, turn Clint off, and then chill with Coolidge. I clone the body electronic, and then I drift between the drones. Just quit all that Californing, Navarre say Nevada, keep a Colorado on, and cut it out with your Texantics. We deliver dreams daily, nightly, instantly, constantly. We can also ensure all of your most precious memories, but terms and contradictions do apply even after you fade out. Dream America dreams of you, for you, with you, through the entire lifetime. You dream that you're being here for real. Dream on, dream in, dream. There's nothing to doubt about. Be a cheerleader for the team Dream America tonight. Erica? Who is she, you ask?
Elijah.
For my show and tell, I've brought a few friends. Not to say that all my friends are poems, but that all my friends become poems. And it's how I spend time with them when they're not here. It's how I remember them. My first friend, Paige Swanson. She lives in San Marcos. She's a dancer. When she dances, it's sort of abstract, interpretative, surreal, almost disturbing how drawn in she becomes into herself. And it's a sort of escapism from the world. She dances as if possessed by something greater than the human body, yet not other than the human body. So this is called Isolado. You haven't created until you're worn out and crying that it's not enough, or that you can't recognize yourself in the glass pond you've poured, mistaking clarity for your art. You dance a violent blackness back to insanity, mindless body, a thunderous tribal verb, absinthe limbs and atonal hymnal hips, abysmal lips. Stay silent and stare. The chorus is coming. The orchestra's ocean tide whips your nerves into rhythmic tragedy. Your feet slap a surreal nausea. Your face stares a surreal nausea. Massage a little harder the ground on which you've drawn knots, tightening the spin to suffocation. Ever approaching the isolado you are, distal as ice. It's never done. It's never enough. So my second friend, a girl I shared an impossible relationship with, one of those that is destined to fail, but destined to keep going until it fails. This is for D, and I think that the impossibility of it all got embodied in some silence that we very often shared every day, a silence that couldn't find words if we tried, but a silence that nevertheless we were both comfortable with. One of the ways we embodied it is smoke breaks. Go to her porch every day, listen to the cars go by, watch the rain fall, get drawn into the night. This is called One of My Favorite Things. That you were a smoker meant I could watch the wisps ascend their limpid linens in a helical spin, like the progress from trial to trial of love, how they blend together and share an element that sings and with its echo stings. Effluvium eels rising like a woman undressing upwards, and after the curtain, vanishing, naked and surreal, your words months ago. The jaws of my awareness agape to that temporary blue gray that pacifies me. An ocular inhalation into a mind without the words that would please you, or the cigarette that would ease you. We invite a photographic stillness, stale delight. I was called to erect this memento with all its whirling, unfurling flight. This last poem is about myself, as well as partially the last person. One of the other ways we would embody our silence is with poetry, whether it was our own or poetry of other people. It's very comforting, very soothing, and nurturing for our growth as writers. It's called His is a Silence. His is a silence vast as insomnia, nullifying as the edge of a gorge, its gaping abyss breathing into you a slow, reeling vertigo. His is a silence by which one is stolen, then forgotten, with no apologies. A prisoner's sterile thoughts weaving bars around our time. His is a silence with no reason, making it all the more absurd. A silence like suicide that gives itself and takes itself in one quick silver motion. A silence like the horizon of hearing, where what is beyond is more desert than can ever be tolerated by oneself alone. Desert which, if braved through all of tomorrow, will only unfold again and again and again. Hers is a patience, still as a heart's whisper, knowing that for now, there is simply no hope in speech, but every hope in words.
Nori? My age. Here it is. Hi. That's my show and tell. There's a story behind this box. And it's called My Prized Possession, Pandora's Box. Don't open it, Mother warned me, or all the nasty secrets will spill out. Like the one about my escapee father, my dead sister, my grandmother's shock treatment for depression. You mean those secrets? Open the box. Spider whispers in my dreams. They will be frightening, but you will not regret what you find inside. Pandora's box had sat on a shelf in my house all my life. It was made by my grandmother's hands. Her hands were big, like the paws of a lioness, but gentle. My hands are small, delicate, tiny fingernails I like to paint with glitter. Maybe I'm just a changeling. My grandmother told me she made the box in art class. I always thought she meant art class in school, where you make projects like magazine collages and clay pots to take home to your parents, or out on the fridge. It's a pretty box, made of smooth wood. The top is plastered with bright stones. Pink ones and blue ones and greens and yellows like a field of Texas wildflowers along the highway in spring. Because underneath the secrets, the dirt under their claws that tries to pull and scratch and rip apart, under the electric prods that fired shockwaves into her brain, under the razor blades that ripped my skin behind the bathroom door, under the tombstone with my sister's stillborn name, under my mother's slurred insomniac speech, riddled with manic dreams of dragons coiled in the highway, mouths open, beckoning the consumed, under the words bastard and slut and attention-seeking behavior, under his THC-filled body that split me like an avocado, ripped out the soft part but could not eat the seed, under the ticking hand of the scale, my eyes watched like a rabid wolf hunting a rabbit. under the pace of my rabbit heart as I live day to day, smiling, telling bad jokes that make my friends shoot beer through their noses, walking in sunlight as much as possible, taking shelter in my local bookstores on rainy days because gray weather makes me sad. And there I am, at least surrounded by the words of others who felt, feel, are feeling the same way, under the knowledge that the invisible illness could rear up like a kraken, wrap its tentacles so tight, I am willing to fill my mouth with water to end the pain. By opening Pandora's box all the way, there is still hope. There is hope in Pandora's box. What I've started doing is keeping little, this was a poem on a candy wrapper, little like fortune cookie snips and inspirational quotes inside to fill up all the good stuff. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I'm going to read 3 poems about my cats, and I regret that the cats didn't want to come today. They just like totally refused. But if you want to see pictures of them, I do have them on my phone. You can talk to me after. And they're really short poems. Baby cat Ashira sleeps like a furry amoeba in my lap. Thin blob cat doesn't divide, but merges in ever-changing forms with herself, supple as a single cell. Okay, poem 2. I'm having one of those days when everything isn't enough. My cats are edginess personified, more claw and tooth than fur, and it's been the perfect afternoon. Why does happiness not quite do it? And I've got one more poem. Find it. Kitty cats plotting evil deeds plop on my cards. The future is bent. These are tarot cards.
Louise. Well, I wanted to call Louisa.
That's fine too. I've been calling Lulu and Louise. Of course, we've all heard the phrase ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny every day. And we know it's not quite true. It doesn't correlate entirely item by item, but I think it could be said more precisely that ontogeny recapitulates ontogeny phylogenetically. Now what this means, in case you didn't know, ontogeny refers to development, like embryological development. And phylogeny is basically evolution, the development of species and phyla and kingdoms and all that sort of thing. When I was born, I don't know if it was the obstetrician who delivered me or my first pediatrician told my mother that this little creasy at the bottom of my neck is what's left of my vestigial gill slit. Has it completely healed up. I'm not able to breathe underwater or anything. I can't stay underwater any longer than anyone else. But that's what that is. And it actually kind of runs a little bit, a little moist every few months, maybe twice a year or something. So if you ever run into my doppelganger, ask her to show you the gill slit. And you'll know if it's there, it's me, and if not, it's a copy of me. Anyway, Thom said I should show and tell what I've done lately. I have been published in...
You got something to top the gill slit? Like
Yeah, I don't know if it'll top the gill slit.
Yeah.
But I've been published in the Enigmatist and have a couple of poems in Animal Tales. And Anya Deshawn is working on a radio project, and I volunteered to join the group and help out with it. We're working on something now called The Mystery of Waller's Cabin, kind of a local mystery about one of the founders of Austin. It's a ghost story, and they've done it before as a half hour, but we're expanding into an hour. And I was talking to Anya, and she's interested in doing a radio version of my musical Chanteuse, so that may be coming up sometime soon. I've already converted it into 5 25-minute programs. Well, 5 25-minute programs and maybe a 6 15-minute program at the end of it. And Ron Kewen and I have written a musical, and our other collaborator, Denise Hudson, is working on the score, so we're hoping to get together and work out all the details and tweak everything. So that's what's going on with me tonight.
You know, this whole time I'm thinking, she never once mentioned that gill slip. All right, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Excuse me, I need to call up stuff that's on my poetry stuff. This one is, you know, if you've taken a lot of peyote and psilocybin mushrooms and whatever, you're liable to find yourself writing poetry about time and space. Now, I'm talking about you, not me. Adulterated. Anyway, this poem is entitled G. Edward Lewis Examines Ramapithecus, or any paleontologist that's out there. Subtitled Seawolf in India, August 1932. Darkness vibrates with the sound of insects. Asian birds screech in the dense heat of night. A dusty black auto rests silent on gravel beside the lawn of a quiet bungalow. A pallet bulb hangs from a chain. Long shadows spill across the room. A lantern lights the table. Bending forward, G. Edward Lewis examines Ramapithecus. He carefully brushes fossil movements are our times together. The meetings at cafes, at restaurants, the walks outdoors in parks, the talks indoors at your table. My joy is violins. Do you hear them? My compassion is cellos. Do you hear them? My melancholy bassoons. Can you hear them? Your graceful smile sound adagio. Excitement to hold you, allegro. Exhilaration of kisses, scherzo. The want for closeness, to merge with you, to join with you as music, fugue. Now do you hear it? Listen. I burn for you in crescendo. I depart diminuendo. Listen. Hear. It is beautiful, this symphony of love for you. The passion is played forte. The tenderness, pianissimo. The loneliness, sotto voce. Thank you.
Birdman, 313.
I didn't have no particular poem for the second part, but I am going to read from my fourth book, Worldly Poetry, according to him, and also this book here will be in this bookstore soon. They accepted it, so it's a nice accomplishment. And this one is titled A Sunrise on the Beach, which she chose. Sitting on the beach as the sunrise shows the beauty on your face. The wrinkles and the twinkle in your eyes all fall into place. Nothing can be more enjoyable as a new day that is spent with you. Walking on a cool, wet sand in early morning dew. Our footprints freshly shows the path that we walk. The mist off the ocean water was refreshing as we talked. For each wrinkle, it tells the story of your life. Has anyone asked you to be their lover or wife? Each footprint tells the story of your journey through life. Now that we are here on the beach, will you be my loving wife? Thank you.
Aimee.
I had two other poems printed out. Sometimes I do rhyming stuff, not a lot. It's called That Haze Between the Before and After. The phone just rang, waking me from a reverie of us, one that would be called simply Last Night, and play at the haughtiest of art houses, screaming, first in New York and Los Angeles. Like a kite, I flew across the room to grab it in the zone, soaring on the threads of memory, raw pleasure, anticipation. It nicked the top of my knee bone on the coffee table. Breathless hello, with a measure of grace. Do you subscribe to the Sunday Times? I look down at the drop of blood getting ready to break free. It hits me hard, like a highway sign. Welcome to being in love. I sit a while, idling in that haze between the before and after. Mull over mistakes. Then you called, and the mulling was over.
Okay, our last poet today is Thom, the world poet. I know everything came at you at once.
That's all right, that's life. Jack's outside, so here it goes. I find it hard because I try to speak Australian and everyone else there is another country. But, if I talk Uluru, you talk Enchanted Rock. If I talk desert, you talk West Texas. If I talk slowly with an accent, you say, well, that's just a put-up job. But the bottom line is, I'm not from around here. Now, when my car develops a speed problem, the trooper knows, you're not from around here, boy, are you? I said, no. I get out of my car, talk to the constabulary, and he says, boy, you're not from around here. Don't you know? You stay in your car, put your hands on the wheel, I'll check your registration. I was about to shoot you, boy. I said, why would you shoot me? Just because I'm Australian, looking for signs of intelligent life on this planet, I'm just passing through time, space, dimensions, trying to connect the rest of you. And most of you say that's the rest of you. This may be a desert, but little Austin is an antidote. Whatever colour you choose, blue or red, the whole thing is we're part of the colour spectrum. And I say, it was really good to welcome Hamish. It was like a refreshing dose. Great Barrier Reef, another little plane, Uluru and deserts, yeah! It is no foolishness to say there are no kangaroos bouncing down the streets these days, but there was snow in Sydney, which is highly unusual, kept the Hume Highway. And I know I'm talking a foreign dialect, but bottom line is you talk highway, and out there in the middle of Texas it's a bit like Australia days. They ain't the same, man. We're astral aliens, and only in Austin you get away with talking to people that read, write, and chew gum at the same time. Sometimes talking feel like North and South Austin is like apartheid. East and West Austin is like apartheid. It's like Sydney and Melbourne, apartheid. They said, where shall we have the capital of Australia? Shall we have it in Sydney, where we first landed and had the first orgy on the first night? Or shall we have it in Melbourne, the entrance to the goldfields, Ballarat and Bendigo, where the richness of Australia is now on Collins Street, you know? And they couldn't come to a conclusion because the bottom line is everyone is pushing their own little agenda. So they said, let's have a compromise called Canberra. Now Canberra, you never heard that word before, but it has the highest rate of heroin in the whole of Australia. Has rise rate of divorces because it's like a Brasilia. It's like a planned city. If you go to Canberra, you actually go to Queanbeyan. If you go to Perth, you go to Fremantle. All of this may not make sense to you, but I try and learn Texas too. I say it really slow with you. Barbecue.
box, and I thought you were going to pick it up one time.
Didn't need to.
No, exactly. Just put it right over here. I believe Donna has an announcement.
I just wanted to take a quick moment before everybody goes away to tell you that I'm going to be back here at Malvern Books on Thursday night doing novel night. I've been invited to come and do a reading from my new novel called Way of the Serpent. And if you haven't had a chance to read it, they do sell it here. And here are some cards. I will pass them around so you can get the details about my book. The book is, I get really, I don't like being pegged down by this thing called time, I guess. Because this novel is set 110 years in the future. So I invite you to come and hear about my take on what happens in the future. I've been seriously embedded for the last 3 weeks writing the sequel, so I'll try not to think about that and just focus on this. So I invite all of you to come. I hope you can make it. Thank you so much.
And I thank all of you, if I can speak, for coming out this evening. Well, this afternoon, actually. It's not yet evening. The sun's not going to go down until, 10 o'clock? And probably with the heat 3 hours after that, it'll actually be Monday by the time it's under 100. But I'm glad you were able to cool off for 2 hours in the AC with some poetry. We will be back at Malvern Books on September 13th. Our theme is Spark of Madness. Think of all of those maddening and madness inspirations. Write it down, bring it here, and dress in costume. Okay, so before you guys leave, if we can give Taylor and Fernando a hand and pick up a chair and just take it that way. I don't know where the chairs go. They're always magically out before we are here, which is fantastic. Yeah, you don't need any help? Wow, okay. They don't even want any help. Well, thank you all for coming. Yay. Everybody get a chance. Who performed to sign the release